Hello, this is Ricardo Francis, the Venting Vigilante. It's good to be with you again today. Today I'm going to talk to you about breakfast. Yes, breakfast is one of my favorite meals, and I know many people love to eat breakfast. In fact, in 1984, General Food Mills, the cereal company, came up with a slogan: breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Absolutely, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Of course, breakfast has grown, breakfast has transformed society, breakfast has developed over time. What was eaten as breakfast probably in the first 6th century, the 15th century is different than what we eat today. Friends, breakfast, of course, at one time was considered a sin by the Catholic Church. It was considered one of the 7 deadliest sins, gluttony, that if you ate breakfast, you were committing a sin. Friends, in the earlier days, of course, it was considered that it was the workers or the slaves that ate breakfast because they needed energy in order to work in the fields. Friends, the elites and, of course, the upper class of the day, they communicated to the public that they did not like breakfast and they did not consume breakfast, when in fact, in the back of their kitchens they were consuming breakfast on the watchful eyes of their helpers. Quite a contradiction, I must say. You know, you do what I say, you do what I tell you, but don't do as I do. Quite often that's a contradiction that we live in society even today. But friends, breakfast was actually, over the years, getting back to the days of we could talk about the days of the Egyptians, the days of the Greeks, the days of the Romans. For instance, the Romans, of course, they ate breakfast, and of course breakfast was based upon leftovers. Breakfast, of course, was also consumed with beer and wine. Clearly, there wasn't any coffee or tea back then, because coffee and tea came about later. Friends, breakfast has come a long way culturally, in terms of different countries, religiously, because people still take religion, their belief system, their values in terms of what they consume for breakfast. But breakfast as we know it today, in the 21st century, is very North Americanized. Of course, many people in North America may have a muffin for breakfast with a coffee or tea. They may have bacon and eggs. They may just have an egg and toast. They may have cereal for breakfast. They may have fruits and coffee for breakfast. Because today, in the world we live in today, friends, we have choices. Consumers have tremendous choices. All over the world you go. Of course, in some countries in the world, breakfast is still traditional, it's still historical. In the case of Japan, you go to Japan, you have soup, you have rice, and you have fish for breakfast. In South Korea, where I once lived, you had kimchi. Of course, kimchi mashisoyo. Kimchi, rice, and of course soup for breakfast. Of course, it is believed that the Koreans ate the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and of course that changed over time. Now friends, breakfast, as in North America or in Canada where I live, you can go to any street corner, whether it be Tim Hortons, Starbucks, McDonald's, Wendy's, a mom and pop restaurant, whatever restaurant there is. You have the choice where you can have a croissant, a muffin, bacon and eggs, whatever your heart desire. Again, there is freedom and democracy and the right to choose whatever breakfast you want to eat, my friends. Friends, I love breakfast, and I encourage you to eat your breakfast every day. And I must say, General Mills is absolutely right. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. In fact, I have breakfast twice a day sometimes. Friends, coming from the Caribbean, I love plantain and fried breadfruit. Fried plantain and fried breadfruit, of course, it's not always that easy to get that in North America. Friends, again, I encourage you to eat your breakfast. Friends, I love you. I love sharing these moments with you. See you next time.